Welcome back to the Singletrack Session number 45 in Studio 78, 22nd Street Trailhead. Found a little shade in the parking lot right next to where we saw that rattlesnake scurry off to a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
So we were a little reluctant to get in, but balmy day today. It's muggy.
It is a little muggy for us.
It's been warm.
Yeah.
It's not going to cool down anytime soon.
It's supposed to heat up again this weekend.
So looking forward to the heat.
Because more heat training.
Love that so much.
Yep.
But yeah, let's just jump into it. Past episode, Jeff Hart, episode 91. He'll be towing the line tomorrow morning, Friday, for the Hardrock 100.
That's right.
Man, I can't wait to see how well he does. He's been hammering it since he's been in Silverton, though.
Right.
Course marking. He's got some good shots, and it was a great episode. A little cameo with James Varner.
Right.
It's kind of funny when he came swinging by. But yeah, we just want to wish everybody, we'll get into it later too, but just wish everybody luck down there, whether you're volunteer, crew, pace, friend, anything has to do with that race, ice cream shop owner, whatever you are down there. Good luck. It's going to be an awesome weekend. Next week, we have the pleasure to bring to you a show with a gentleman out of Calgary, Alberta.
Yep.
Mr. Jacob Pusey.
That was a fun show.
That was a blast. He came down from Alberta for a family reunion.
Right.
And reached out to us. And
we totally crashed the family reunion.
Oh, totally. We got into the house.
Yep.
Which we still podcasted from the bus.
Right.
In the street.
Yep.
Where it was warm. But we did break into the home, with the whole family.
Did. Yep. They were trying to fatten us up with ice cream.
That's right, man. It was a great show. We had a great time talking to Jacob Pusey, just kind of on his history of where he came from, what his plans are, and just the cool scene he's got going, because we haven't talked to anybody from Canada before, And so it was cool.
They got a cool race scene up there.
Yeah, really cool. So that'll be a fun show. Great time with them. And thanks for Jacob and his wife Amy and their family for opening their doors to us and letting us know they're in town.
I know, that was fun.
Kind of a fun time up there in the Eden area. So, well, guess it's time to talk about the Beaverhead.
Yeah, got to fess up, don't we?
Man, I'll tell you, being around trail running and racing as long as I have, definitely not an elite runner, I still struggle. With a DNF.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah.
It's been eating away at me,
even
since before I DNF'd at the race. But so Joel and I, obviously, we went up to the Beaverhead 100K. God, it was a great time though. The Salmon, Idaho area is beautiful.
It's really pretty.
Such a cool little town. The race director, David Tarkleton, his family, and volunteers and friends, they roll the red carpet out.
They do. I was most impressed about that.
Yeah, and it's got that now. Joel, correct me if I'm wrong. It's got that old school feel to it.
It does,
right?
Especially at the finish.
Yeah, and you've got you meet in the high school foyer.
Yeah,
it's a small high school.
Yeah,
so you got that old Hoosiers thing going on, right?
Totally. Yep.
But it's really cool because I didn't know the history, and David Tarkleton grew up in Salmon, went to school there.
Right.
So I was kind of figuring out how he came across this.
Right.
But that makes sense now. But
it does.
But wow, I'll tell you, it was first class. Volunteers.
Yeah.
Community was cool. The hotel we stayed at, they were jazzed to have us there.
Yeah, they were.
But what a
right on the river. That hotel,
beautiful.
The Stagecoach Inn, was right on the Salmon River.
We were on the second floor with a balcony facing the river, and we left our sliding door open all night just to hear the river and get in the cool air. And so my family, my wife, and my youngest Aspen, we're going back. Right?
Yeah.
They're like, let's come back next week. This is cool.
That's a long drive.
It wasn't bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
That's a solid 5-hour drive.
5 solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't bad. But I'll tell you, though, it was a great experience on so many levels. Just new area.
Yeah.
But, God, here's some names. Josh. We met Josh Hinojosa from Arkansas.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
He won the contest.
What a good guy.
He is such a good guy.
Awesome little family he's got.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But, it's just one of the things for us that's exciting is we've been social media chatter with people for so long. But when we get to meet people face-to-face, it's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of, you anticipate it, a little nervous.
Yeah.
We're good behind a mic.
Right.
Or we're better behind a mic than we are in person. How's that?
That's true. Very right. Yeah.
So we met Josh Hinojosa. Brandon Musgrove was there. He brought us some IPAs.
Dude, that's funny. We were in the pool, and then he rolls up on the pool,
Yep, that's right. Him and his wife, Amy.
And then little boy, Sebastian.
Yep. So we got to meet them. Got to run with Andrea Stevens. She's from Salt Lake City, but I got to run with her for a little bit. We talked to Josh Fuller, who we met at El Vaquero last year.
And he came in second in the 100K.
And he crushed. He killed 12:33.
Woo!
But he's from Jackson, fellow VW
on fire right now.
Bus man.
Yeah, he's got a Westie. He's got Synchro.
Yep.
Synchro or Westie? I can't remember what he's got.
Synchro, I think.
He's got the Synchro.
I don't know. One of the two. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
We also met Sean from Twin Falls, who came up to us the night of the check-in.
Yep.
Talked to us for a little while. He's running 55K. I got to sit with Wendy.
Yeah, Jagalowski
out of Pocatello on the bus ride.
Yeah.
From the parking lot. We got in the bus at 3:15.
Yeah.
I was looking for a place to sit. It was pretty crowded. I hear Eric, and I look. I said, I'll sit there.
That's right.
Right? And so we just chatted the whole way.
Like a bunch of schoolgirls.
We really were. And it was fun, too, because she was like, oh, yeah, this episode, I listened to, and she had like...
She did her homework.
Yeah, she bought a Patagonia Houdini.
Yeah.
Because she heard about us talk about it on the show.
Nice.
Squeaky Cheeks and Squirrel Nut Butters.
Yeah,
and
you can't go wrong with those
stuff.
two things.
But yeah, just meeting all these people.
That guy from, was it Whitefish that we met?
Kevin Mahoney from that won the 55K, right?
No.
No?
No.
Who did we meet? We met? I can't remember.
I remember his name. He was a taller guy.
Oh, yeah.
Super nice.
Yeah, well, we talked to him after, he finished.
Yeah, he finished.
Kevin Mahoney won the race from Coeur d'Alene in 5:52.
Yeah, that's fast. Holy cow.
Yeah, it was just fun meeting people.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of, are you guys the TrailManners dudes? Maybe.
Yeah, if we're a little shy, it's because we just never know what's coming.
Yeah, we don't. We really don't. But, man, there's a lot of other people, though, that I saw on social media that were there with. I didn't get to meet.
That's crazy,
and
right? Because they'd done the 55K, and we went back to the hotel, and I went back to sleep.
Yeah,
I slept for a solid 3 hours that afternoon, yeah.
I felt guilty, and so me and my family, I took my daughter swimming. We got some sandwiches at the Amish store.
At the Amish store.
We got some smoky bacon cheese curds.
Yeah.
But yeah, the race itself is, we did the 100K.
Right.
And so we got to mile 27-28, which is the Lemmy Pass.
Right.
Right in there. And that whole section, it's not difficult, right? It's
runnable. Not really.
A couple small, short, decent
kicker little climbs. I mean, they're steep.
But it wasn't the hardcore. The hard part of the course came after that.
I know.
The scree fields that everybody talked about.
The rolling. There's a couple decent climbs, 500 and 1,000-foot climbs on that second half.
Yeah.
I think that second half had close to 5,000 feet of climbing.
Yeah, and we covered, 44, I think, up to third 27
maybe not
or
that
something.
I can't remember. I have to go back and look at my watch.
But yeah, I mean, my first 11 miles were solid. Felt great. I was up there, it wasn't pushing it. But I was just in a nice little groove around with Jim Skaggs, Andrea Stevens, Brandon Musgrove, another couple people that I was just kind of in the same little group with.
Right.
And then about mile 10 or 11, started cramping.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't water. I know it wasn't salt.
Right.
I'm on top of all. It wasn't hot yet.
Nope.
And just my body started seizing up.
Yeah.
Like literally, and fought that for 17 miles.
Yeah.
Before I decided to pull the plug. Now, if this was another race, say he could have more access, I might have tried another aid station to see if I could shake it loose.
No, that's a good point.
But that where we got out was the only place people get to for car.
That's the only place you're getting out.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And so for 17 miles, that's kind of my thought process.
Right.
How long do I want to deal with the hammies and calves cramping? My back started cramping.
Right.
How long do I want to deal with this? And I kept doing stuff, and I'd run once a little bit, feel good, and by this time I'm running with Brandon Musgrove and one other gentleman from Montana pretty much the whole time.
Right.
We were flip-flopping. We'd catch each other and pass and run and whatever.
Right.
And I just came to the point where I'm like, I'm not enjoying myself.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. I don't know if I could injure myself, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah.
And I got 35 more miles.
That's right.
Right? And so reality kicked in.
Hard miles, too.
Hard miles.
Easy miles.
And so that's why I decided to pull the plug, which wasn't easy. I was at the aid station for a good 40 minutes before it was kind of like, this is probably the smart choice.
Right.
When I was sitting down, I couldn't get comfortable.
No.
If I stood up, I couldn't get comfortable.
When I came into the aid station, you looked like you were kind of breakdancing. You looked like you had Tourette's.
I just couldn't shake it. And I cramped up that basically the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Even as I showered, swam, ate, drank, that whole day. The ride home was a nightmare.
Oh, that was rough.
And I didn't get to see my guy Nate until Tuesday.
Yeah.
And he went in there and he went down a certain, and I'm not a body person, but from my back, he went down a chain. He's like, this goes to here, and he hit every single spot that hurt so bad.
Oh, yeah.
And basically he decided what most likely it was a sciatic, something in my lower back that just started the problem, and it just went down that leg.
Cascaded down.
Yeah, because it was in my Achilles. He was like in my Achilles going, wow, So anyway, total disappointment.
Right.
I can't even stress how disappointed. It was my birthday.
Yeah.
The next day. My favorite number I was wearing on my bib, it was like
number 8.
The worst. I couldn't even explain it. It was just a horrible day for me on the trail.
Right.
I still got into mile 27 at like 6 hours, which was ahead of where I thought I'd be, even with all the struggles.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I struggle. I'm still struggling with it because I didn't do it, right? And I wanted to, and I didn't get to see the pretty part.
Right.
The race is until July 14th next year, which is going to be the same weekend as Hardrock, I bet.
Yowzer.
Yeah, right? So, because I'm going to go back and maybe just do the 55K so I can see that second half. Because I'm going to tell you what, I enjoyed spending time with my family, and I enjoyed the town.
Right.
And that 100K is it's a 17.
You're out there all
you really are.
day long.
So if I did the 55K, I'd still have some time. I get to see the second half.
Right.
I'll be back next year just because it's just beautiful. But yeah, what a bummer considering everything lined up the way training was on point, everything, and just a bummer.
Yeah.
Well,
you shouldn't beat yourself up too much.
I shouldn't, but I do.
It's not your fault.
I know, that's my problem. And I've had some really good people that have sent me messages that know and say, it's all right, blah, blah, blah. And I appreciate those, and everybody's right. Yeah. Like, I'll be the first one to talk someone down off the bridge, saying, it's a D, don't worry about it. But when it happens to me, I'm like, this is horse shit.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I get it. I know what you mean.
And everybody has something different, but it was just a rough day for all of us. Right?
Yeah. When I came into the aid station, Musgrove looked like he was worked. Yeah. Man, he looked like a popsicle. Just red, beet red, and like white salt around his lips. Poor guy. He looked, I could feel what, his looks conveyed how he felt. I felt it.
Yeah.
It was like, oh man, he does not look like he's feeling good.
Well, I saw him later that evening at his hotel after he'd taken a nap and everything, and it'd been hours, 6 hours maybe after we dropped.
Yeah.
And I saw him on his balcony. He's like, I just peed.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I was like,
he
what?
didn't pee from like 6 a.m. until like
he's like, I just peed for the
8:00.
first time, and it was still orange.
Right. Poor guy.
Like, he must have been in a pretty bad
world of hurt, which is kind of weird because, the race started at 7,000 feet, and we got up to 9,000 on the first part of the course, so it wasn't terribly high.
No, and it wasn't hot yet.
No, because we had cloud cover for the first at least 3 hours.
Yeah, so
I felt like we did. And we were in a lot of trees, too, for the first part.
Yeah, in fact, we didn't get it really hot and exposed till right before that aid station.
Before the Lemhi aid station. Yeah. When you popped out in that service road, that's where the heat really started cranking.
Yeah.
At that point. I don't know. I think maybe just being at that consistent altitude definitely took an effect on some people.
Yeah.
Because you never really dropped below that 7,000 foot mark.
No, you're just up above that all.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're living at like 4,000 feet like we are, that's going to affect you.
Yeah.
If you're like poor Josh Hinojosa, who comes from
500 feet.
Yeah, that definitely spanks you hard.
Yeah. In different ways, not just the altitude breathing, but like in blood and.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you're going to feel more dehydrated because you're not used to that altitude, that elevation.
And I think that's where I got frustrated because I couldn't figure out why. And I'm like, I know I'm hydrated.
Right.
I know I've got the quote-unquote electrolytes.
Yeah.
I'm taking my gels.
Yep.
But all that, I mean, I have stomach problems. My legs weren't sore, tired. It was just those cramping places that really.
Well, once they start, you can't get them to stop, really.
Mm-mm. And I tried. No. I kept faking it, too.
Yeah, you're trying to fake it until you make it, right?
Actually acting like I'm tying my shoes, but I'm stretching my calf.
Yeah.
And this one guy when I finally started running this guy from Montana, he's like, I was wondering why every time I saw you, you were like tying your shoes. I'm like, dude, I was stretching my calves.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, it just kind of went downhill from there. But, man, congratulations to everybody. That got on the start line. There's over a 45% DNF rate.
Yeah, crazy.
For that race.
Last year, he only
high.
had
20, 18, 19,
percent,
like
right?
Yeah. So it was high.
It was triple what it was this year.
Yeah, and again, I mean, heat was a factor for sure.
I think so for a lot of people. They got whooped by the heat.
Yeah, well, exposed,
Yeah.
no shade. I mean, we didn't find any water crossings at all the first 27 miles, which is something I thought there might be.
Yeah.
Just because we have so many here.
Right. I mean, we had a couple of snow patches. That was nice.
Yeah, those were nice.
So I took a big handful of snow and rubbed it all over my face and my head just to kind of wash myself off.
Yeah.
That was really refreshing.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a rough one. But Jim Skaggs, our buddy here, he gutted it out.
He did.
He finished in 17:24-ish, right in there
Right.
with Andrea Stevens, and he was saying that was one of the tougher races he's been involved with.
Did you see he did the first half of the race in 6 hours and the second half in 11?
That's crazy.
That shows you how much harder the second half of the course is.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. And just looking at the times from the 100K and even there was in the 55K, there was a 17-hour finisher.
Wow.
In the 55K. So that's legit. That's a long day on
that's a long
20
day.
or 30 miles, 30 plus miles.
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
But yeah, the 50K, Kevin Mahoney from Coeur d'Alene, course record 5:52.
We saw him; he looked spent.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Female was Jenny Pierce out of Livingston in 7:28.
Nice.
And on the 100K side, Johannes Middleton from Bozeman, 11:49.
Ooh.
That's solid, man.
That's fast.
That's a good course. And I bring up Josh. He took second in 12:33.
That's awesome.
Get this, the female winner
Yeah.
of the 100K. Guess where she was from?
Like sea level.
Alabama.
Come on.
Yeah, she finished Liz Canty, Alabama, 13:17.
That's
course
awesome.
record.
That's fast.
Yeah, from Alabama.
Wow.
I'm like, it wasn't Bozeman.
Yeah,
No,
it wasn't Boulder.
It wasn't somewhere. It was Alabama.
Right on.
So congratulations
cool.
to everybody there. But I'm gonna throw this out there though. This race opens November 1st.
Yeah.
And it's sold out this year. It's gonna sell out this next year.
Yeah, well.
This is a must do race in my book.
I think so, just because of how well you're treated.
Yep.
Everything all the details are taken care of to a T.
They had a helicopter at the finish line.
That was impressive, but also a little scary.
It was
right.
that you would need it, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it was. He had everything was in a row.
Yeah, from the check-in
Yeah.
to the pre-race dinner, which we were
Tore
fortunate
up.
enough to get the pre-race dinner.
Yeah.
Normally, I don't do those.
Yeah.
But we were on the fence about where we were going to eat that.
Yep.
And so we snuck in the room, we checked it out, we're like, oh yeah, we're staying here,
in.
we're going to eat this. And I think I ate a little too much there.
I felt pretty
for
good.
sure, because I felt a little bit dehydrated all night long. Like my stomach was never settled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that pre-race dinner was fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
The bus ride, I rode in the van.
I know. I thought you and Jim. I'm in the bus. It's taken off. I'm like, Jim and Joel did not get on. And I text you guys. I'm like,
yeah.
this
See, I
sucks.
had my phone in airplane mode already
God,
at that point.
That was crazy.
I was just focused at that point. I was walking out to the bus and I saw they had that van, and I saw Jim Skaggs in there and Andrea, and they're like, jump in. I'm like, all right. So I'll do it.
I didn't know there was a van.
I didn't either.
I pulled up to the start, and I'm thinking, those suckers are doing the 55K. Those buggers.
Leaving you all by yourself.
And then I see Jim like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we took the van.
I know. It was comfy. I wrote, now listen, I have first rights to the van next year, so don't think that you guys are going to be all smarty pants and get in front of the line on me. I rode in the captain's chair and just talked to Tarkelson on the way out there.
Did you? He drove the van?
Yeah, he drove all the way out. It was
That'd have
fun.
been cool. Yeah. I had a great time though with talking with
the Jags.
Yeah, she's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Just her whole story and running and everything else.
Yeah, that was good stuff. So yeah, that course was fun. The check-in for the race, because you don't get your bib until the morning of, right? And they had this table with these big lights, and I think there was music. I can't remember.
It was music from what people commented on our Facebook page.
Yeah, I just sat in the van though, just chilling, staying a little bit warm. Because it wasn't like cold. It was actually kind of warm out, but there was a breeze.
I loved it.
Right? The first part of the course is totally runnable. I didn't really need a headlamp.
Nope, I didn't use one.
Gosh, the people around me that ran with headlamps, I don't blame you for having one, but it's kind of annoying then if you don't have one yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's that shadow. It's always cast at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was right behind you. Jim was behind me all the way to the first aid station.
Yep.
And then, it wasn't hard. As a matter of fact, I almost wish I could have been a little bit further ahead in the conga line, because there was for me, there was more walking than I wanted to be for that first part. We got to the aid station. The aid station got crushed.
Yeah.
It was like...
You got hit hard.
Yeah. I was trying to fill up my water bottle because I knew there was 9 miles from aid station 1 to aid station 2. And I got a little bit hung up in the aid station. I wanted to make sure I ate, too.
Yeah.
So I took a gel there, filled up my water bottles. Oh, I had to take some KT tape off of my shin because I got these crazy shin splints. But I taped myself up a little bit funky, so it was cutting the circulation off of my left foot. So I took that off, and so you, Musgrove, Skaggs, and Hinojosa all passed me at the aid station right there. You guys were probably a minute out before I left. And as soon as I got out of the aid station, there was that nice single track where they got that buck rail fence.
Yeah.
I had to, bolt off into the woods to take care of those mozzarella cheese sticks from the night before. So you guys got a couple minutes ahead of me at that point. I got back on the trails feeling good, and nobody was around me, which I would like. Yeah. I don't like running in big groups of people, and so I'm cruising, just having fun, enjoying it. Jagalowski passed me when I was taking a potty break.
Nice.
And I caught up to her, and she was hooting and hollering out in the woods by herself. Nobody was around her.
That's awesome.
And so I snuck up behind her, right, passed her, and talked to her for a little bit, and then kept cruising. And all of a sudden, you come into that big first opening. That was amazing.
That was incredible.
Right? I didn't expect that. Yeah, this big meadow, all these wildflowers you can see for hundreds of miles. But then I could see you guys at that point.
Nice.
I'm starting to catch up. I'm like, all right, I need to start working to catch up to them. We crossed that big meadow, and then we go through all those switchbacks where the mosquitoes got bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's another thing that we need to mention. Make sure that you put some bug spray on if you're going to do this race.
Yeah, so the second switchback, 2 guys pulled over to take a whiz.
Yeah.
And they were screaming the whole time they were whizzing.
The little ding-dings were getting bit, weren't they?
And I was like, well, what would you expect?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Oh, my gosh. The mosquitoes were so bad at that point.
Yeah, you guys get what
but
you deserve.
they had bug spray at the aid stations.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Well, because we ran into bees later and then horseflies later.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, those were terrible. Yeah, so I was working to catch up to you guys, but I wasn't, working hard. You know, I never felt like I was dehydrated.
Yeah.
I had a handheld, and I had that little soft flask, which holds 10 or 12 ounces. I don't know. So I had those 2 things between the aid stations. It was fine. I was eating enough. Felt good. Got to that one section that had the pine trees and the neon green moss.
Oh, yeah.
That
awesome.
place was cool.
That place was lit up.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I was like, man, I know I have not dropped acid in a long time, but this is similar to it.
This is what it was. This is what it is on this trail.
Exactly. It was rad. I love that section.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah, got to that mile 28 station. You know what? The mileage on the aid station, which was cool. I like this, how they did this.
Oh, yeah.
You would come into the aid station. Right next to the water bucket, there was a sheet of paper that was in a plastic sleeve. On that sheet of paper was your current mileage, so mile 20 point something, right? Yep. The distance to the next aid station, which would have been 7.9 to the Lemhi aid station, and how much ascent and descent on that section. And it was in big letters. You couldn't miss it. It was so
awesome.
cool, right?
Yep.
So that way you didn't have to ask the aid station person, hey, how much further to the next? It was just right there.
And I loved it because I put a little chart together that had that exact info on it.
And see, I didn't
put it together because I just kept reading those. I'm like, awesome. And I'm like, I'm going to go off theirs as opposed to what I made because theirs are going to be right.
Well, theirs was every time I come in after aid station 2, my watch wasn't matching their data. And I liked their data because it was a solid mile to a mile and a half further than what my watch was saying.
Gotcha.
So I was like rock starring at that point. It's like, I'm running this so fast.
Well, that first aid station you stopped at, you're saying it's 9 miles to the next one.
Yeah.
And the great thing about that is it's runnable.
It's total runnable.
So it doesn't take as long as the 9 miles. So you didn't, for me, I didn't need as much liquid because I'm moving quicker.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, because a couple weeks before that, up at Sinks Canyon, there was a distance, but you're hoofing it. So it took twice or even over 2 times longer.
Right.
So that was one of the benefits is just how runnable and pretty that was.
It really, you weren't dying of heat at that point.
Yep.
It was runnable. You were enjoying the course at that point. It was fun. Another thing I like what they did with the aid stations, instead of pre-mixing their electrolyte drinks, what they did is they portioned them out into little Dixie cups.
Yep.
So if you wanted that electrolyte, you can dump it in your bottle and then you can shake it up.
Yep.
I like that. They did all these little things that were just so pleasant. Yeah. When you came into the aid station, the volunteers were just on point.
And they were great.
They were
really
great.
Didn't have to do anything.
I know. Gosh, it was awesome. You know, by mile 20, that's when my hamstring started cramping up. That's just left over from a big training block we did and from the sinks, and it just got worse and worse where I just had to walk up the hill.
Yeah.
On flats, I couldn't run fast, and that was annoying me.
Yeah.
Like that was draining me mentally that I couldn't go fast. And on the downhills, oh my gosh, normally I'll crush them.
Yeah.
I couldn't. And that was really pissing me off, especially on that double track.
Oh my gosh.
After mile 20, that was kind of tedious. And I was like, I just want to get this over with, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
And then the horse slides got bad.
They did get bad.
Those little bastards.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, but then I came into that mile 27, 28 aid station. That's supposed to... We call it the halfway. We know it's not, but that was like mentally, that was like your halfway point, right? That's where your drop bag is. I got there in like 6 hours, 19 minutes. You know, on ideal conditions, I was like, okay, I'll get there at 7 hours, right? Just go like 4 miles an hour. And I got in there early. I was like, all right, right on. But my day's done.
Yeah.
Because I could tell that I still got the hard part of the course. All the climbing's still in front of me. And I was like, I'm not going to push this. I mean, I felt fine. Like, I wasn't working hard to get to that point.
Yeah.
So I got there, and I saw you breakdancing, saying something about dropping. I'm like, all right, we're done. Let's go. That's when Musgrove was trying to rustle us up a ride.
Get us a ride into town.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. That was a frustrating day for me all the way around. You know, again, I try and look at it in perspective, right? I mean, what if I didn't race? It was a great run. It was fun.
Yeah. It was a good training run.
I got to spend time with my family, somewhere new.
Got to see people that we've only met online.
Yeah.
I got to reconnect with Wendy Jagalowski. I ran with her for a hot second on the trail. That was fun.
Yeah.
I ran with Hinojosa just for a little bit on the trail. At that point, I was working to catch back up to you guys.
Yeah.
So, Josh, I apologize. I didn't hang out with you on the trail very long, but that was kind of where I was focused of catching back up with that group in hopes of, like, if I can catch you guys, I wanted to ride that train to the finish. Yeah, that's what I was hoping to do.
Yeah, and I was with Brandon, and that's kind of my thought. Well, you know, if he and then Will started falling off me. I didn't know he was in bad as shape as he was till we got to the aid station.
Right. Yeah. I was planning when I got to the aid station. I had a plan. It's like, all right, if those guys are there and they want to go, I'm gonna go. But if they're gonna drop out, I'm gonna drop out.
Yeah,
and I have no qualms about it. You guys are like, we're not feeling good. I'm like, we're done. We are done.
Yeah, I think you're the one that DNF'd me.
I did.
It's done.
Yeah, exactly. I went over and told them. So, number 8, he's done.
He's done. He's leaving.
He's finished. Look at him. He's breakdancing.
I just couldn't sit still in any
You're
way,
fidgeting.
man. I did. I was the biggest fidget spinner there was, man. Everything was knotting up on. Even the drive out of there.
Oh, the drive out was that's the lady was so sweet.
Yeah.
They gave us the ride out of there.
Her last name was Provo, and she's from Bozeman. Or
Missoula.
One of the two.
Right.
Yeah.
Her son's like
Danny Provo. He's like 19. Ended up finishing 11th.
Did he?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's good for that course.
Yeah, which is solid. He's 19. It's his biggest run ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was awesome. But we were in the back, and I just kept cramping.
Oh my gosh! It was the never-ending road to get out of there. Yeah, you had the big seat, man. I was riding the hump.
Yeah, I was just trying not to make a scene. Someone would cramp.
Yeah,
I'm over there making these awful noises, and it was just a bad day. You know, got back to the finish line.
The finish line. Let's talk about
awesome.
that.
My gosh, huge circus tent.
Yeah,
with shade.
The Ringling Brothers.
It was.
Yeah, tent so big.
The helicopter was there. Medical was there. Yeah. Chairs were there. Ice was there.
Big field that's on the Tarkelson property.
Yep.
So they own all this property south of Salmon, Idaho, and that's where the course comes down and finishes. So they're able to set up this big tent on their property.
Yeah, it was
and
awesome.
It's this whole family atmosphere, right? Like his kids and his nieces and nephews are there, and all their extended family are there, just hanging out, having fun, helping out. It was a good time.
We had a
burger, hot dogs.
Yep, and it was a great location. You know, we hung out there for about 45 minutes, I think. Saw the winners come across for the 55K. There's a lot of people that dropped. I mean, we got out of there. There's 5 or 6 leaving when we left.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great race.
It is. You guys should do it for sure.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's one of the he's got a gem up there.
He does.
Tarkelson group and everything they do in the.
And he won't let it get like out of control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's going to be like Ty Drain. He's just going to keep it old school. He's always going to serve the runner. That's what he's after.
Yep. And heck, man, the race shirt was Patagonia.
Yeah, it was
Capeline.
a Gooch.
Yeah, I'm like, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then Joel won a raffle.
That's right. I got those I tried those things out.
Some bone-shaking headphones.
Bone-conducting headphones. They work pretty good.
Do they?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. But, yeah, overall, it was a good weekend. Spent time with family and friends. Yep. You know, we saw Jim and Karen Skaggs, had dinner with them the night before at the little brewery there. You know, it was just a nice time meeting people. But at the end of the day, as far as the DNF goes, you know, it just kind of is what it is. And tomorrow morning, hopefully I get up and get back on my feet. And
that's right.
Got a lot. I mean, El Vaquero coming up.
Yep.
Really want to do well there. I feel my training's still solid there. Just want to fine tune a few things
for sure.
And figure some more things out. But yeah, it's, you know, and I was even talking to Nate, our guy that does the rub downs and the deep tissue stuff, and
the rub downs.
Yeah, and we're sitting there talking, and he's like, and because he works on all kinds of athletes.
He does.
A lot of runners, but all kinds of athletes. And he goes, that's what's so unique with your sport. You could do everything right. Yeah. But it's just one thing. Yeah. Right? Or vice versa. Because he was telling me, I'm like, I've trained hard. I've done well. I was prepared. Right. And he's like, and I'm like, I still did this. And he's like, well, you know, I said, if I would have went in underprepared, it'd be easier. I'm like, I wasn't ready for it. I had no business doing it. Exactly. You know, blah, blah, blah. And then he told me, he's like, how many races have you gone into kind of feeling that way and had a good day? You know, like I'm not ready and actually come out with a decent day. And he's like, that's what's different with your sport is like all kinds of variables. Yeah. Whether it's the weather, the altitude, the training, rolling an ankle, whatever it could be. He's like, it's sleep. Yeah. And he's like, that's what's so weird working on runners. Yeah. You know, it's just all these tangibles that have to, especially ultra runners. Yeah. You don't see that so much in the half marathoners. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it was good talking to him. And like I said, he made me squirm. Did he? And he made me feel good because he would like hit a spot and I would literally start crying. Yeah, yeah. Pee a little, and he'd be like, "Oh, sorry about that. You know, it's all right." You know? But yeah, it is what it is, I guess, and you just got to try and suck it up and move on from that. But that's right. But thanks to everybody in Sam and the Beaverhead, David, and your crew. Awesome experience. Yeah. You know, rock solid. I couldn't think of anything I'd improve about what you got going on. Maybe, exactly. Maybe if you could do something with some cloud cover, that's about it. Yeah, exactly. Right. Fog machine. I don't know. You know, something. Fill that whole valley up. I know. But it's beautiful, and thank you very much for that. So yeah. Moving on. Another big weekend, though. Exciting times. Hardrock 100. That's right around the corner. It is basically you're listening to the show on Thursday. Race starts Friday morning. Yeah. Huge lineup. Lots of press going into it. Big thunderstorms rolling through right now. Yeah. People are getting worked with the weather. Yep. People are out feverishly trying to make the course good for you. Saw a video of some people like shoveling snow. Yeah. At Kroger's Canteen. Getting ice off that ledge. Yeah. So get that set up. Yeah. So man, excited to see how this works out. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it down. I just don't think I can. That's tough going away 2 weekends in a row. It is with as much as we have going on at the home. Right. It's a 7.5 hour drive, so it's not bad. I could sleep in the truck, but sure, it's just between real work. Right? Yeah. Not the podcast, but like the stuff we actually make a living with. Yeah. Buy the top ramen with. So yeah, it's just unfortunate. But first of all, before we get into like who's running and we're going to do a contest, I just want to give a personal shout out to my buddy Scott Jaime. Yeah. It's his 10th year. Number 10. It's his last year. Yeah. And then he'll be down there. But this gotta get it, Scott. Scott Jaime was the one that introduced me to trail and ultra running, and so I give so much to him for doing that. And then I just know what he's invested with his family, going down every single summer for 10 summers. Yeah. Training, getting on the course. Had some amazing years. I mean, he took second the year that Skaggs won by like 4 or 5 hours. Right. That human performance. But Scott's a good, close personal friend. I just want to say good luck. Enjoy your day. I hope everything works out to where it's just enjoyable for you. Regardless of your time, anything else, I hope you just go out there and soak it all in. And you've done a lot for the sport. You were kind of that gap runner, that kind of like merged some cultures together, right. Or merged some like Gen 2 and Gen 3. Exactly. Right. God, I have nothing but respect for you, and good luck, and enjoy that. So let's get that out there. But then we can get to like the actual race itself. Yeah. Right. Some heavy hitters.
There are.
And it's
the men's side's deep.
Men's side's is deeper.
It is.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the women's first.
So me and Joel are going to give you our top 3.
Yep.
And then we're opening it up. You have, God, this is going to be short.
You only have 24 hours.
You really do, because
Let's cut it off at 6 a.m. on Friday morning.
Friday morning at 6 a.m. our contest is cut. So you really have a day.
Yeah.
24 hours. This launches early on Thursday morning. You got to get and we've given you a week to prep for it. So
and
just
you got to
post
put
it.
your results or your guesses on the blog post.
On the website.
Yeah, and that'll be out generally by 6 a.m. Mountain Time.
Yep.
So before we go for a run, I'll post it.
And so we need your first, second, and third male and first, second, and third female. So that's all we need to be eligible. Last one was Braden Lim, won the Western States, got his prize off to him. You're going to win a prize.
Yep, might be a hat.
Yeah, it could be multiple things.
Right.
But yeah, so
a cat.
Cat.
Yeah. You got a couple cats, don't you?
Yeah. I don't know how he's shipping them at work, but it's worth a try.
Yeah. Might be a way to get rid of them.
Yeah, get some dry ice in there with them. Keep
dry ice.
So we'll start with the women.
Okay.
Okay, Joel. Fire away. Who's your top 3 women?
My top 3 women. Darcy, number 1.
Okay.
Caroline Chavarot, number 2.
Okay.
Hannah Green, number 3.
Oh, man. Okay. Dude, yours is almost exactly like mine.
Oh, we haven't talked about this
at all. We haven't
talked
about it at all. And I have mine typed out, so we can't, it's not fake. So
yeah, mine's written down.
Mine's Darcy. She's one of my favorites,
Yep.
and she's going without a pacer.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
She's a pro.
She is, but she's never done Hardrock without one, which to me is just a whole different level.
She's
but she
good.
lives there, basically.
Yeah.
She knows it. So
She
I'm
knows
going
it.
Darcy 1.
Yep.
2, I'm going Caroline.
Yep.
For sure. 3 is where I was like really torn. And
Yeah.
I was torn on the men's side too. And in fact, I don't know my men's third place yet. I got 3 names
Okay.
I'm still juggling.
Sure.
But for the women, I'm going Anna Frost.
Yeah.
Just because she's been with us, right?
She has, and she knows the course.
And the one my one that I was going to say, the one to watch out for, Hannah Green.
Right.
So we're close there.
We're close.
So we got Darcy. Joel's got Darcy, Caroline,
and Hannah Green.
And Hannah. And I've got Darcy, Caroline, and Anna. And there's a couple, there's like some names in there.
Oh, yeah. Top 5 can be really close.
Montclair, Natalie Montclair. That'll be interesting.
Yep. There's another
the
young
other lady
girl,
from
too.
France.
Another young gal that's going to be, in the mix, too.
Yeah.
I forgot her name.
So that's our women.
Yeah.
Joel, let's hear your man.
Okay.
This should
Killian.
Okay.
Number 1. All right.
Yeah.
Mike Foot, number 2.
Okay.
And then Schlarb for number 3.
Say we're almost identical again.
Yeah.
Okay. So Joel's got Killian as 1.
Yep.
Mike Foot 2, and 3 was Schlarb.
Yeah.
So mine 1 and 2 are the same.
Yep.
I have Killian and Foot.
Yep.
And 3rd is my up in the air one.
It is. There's a handful of dudes that are like going to vie for that.
And I haven't made my decision yet.
If that dude that got wrecked in that climbing accident last year, Adam
Campbell?
Adam Campbell.
Yeah.
He would have been number 3 for me.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know if he's bounced back yet. I'm
going Gabe.
Gabe
Ooh. Joyce. He's my sleeper.
So I had Gabe in the top 6.
Okay. I've got Gabe as my sleeper.
Yeah.
I had Chris Price and him were tied for 3rd, and I couldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
But I'm pulling the trigger.
I think if
Gabe.
you get top 6, it's going to be so close from that number 3 to number 6. But those top 2 dudes, I think are in a lock.
I'm giving Gabe and Anna both 3rd because they've been on the show.
That's fair.
Yeah. I think this with our mojo, tossing them that way.
All right.
That's what I'm going with.
Fair enough.
Both of us have Killian 1, Foot 2. Joel's got Schlarb. I've got Gabe.
Oh.
I didn't go Schlarb because it doesn't seem like he's raced a whole lot lately.
Right.
So I kind of was reluctant there.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he would do.
I don't know what his fitness level's like right now.
Yeah. See, I'm not sure either. So
he's under the radar.
That's my 3 picks.
So and then we blow it up.
And we got to give a special shout out to Jeff Hart again.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
He's going to tear it up.
Our boy Tommy Remkus is doing it again here from the Ogden area. One of our founding father trail runners for our community.
Man, this is year 5 or 6 for him.
I'm not even sure.
If not more.
And that guy just grinds it out.
He does.
Every year.
Uh-huh.
If you notice when Tommy runs these races, Tommy Remkus, he's not anywhere near the top 20 until about mile 70.
Yeah, exactly.
And he just starts picking dudes off as he goes and always
he's
has
pretty
a great
solid
finish.
Top 20 finisher at Hardrock.
He really is. And that's amazing. So either way, it's going to be an exciting weekend. And anything, just like Western States, but to me, Hardrock is, I know you got the heat. the speed, all that at Western. But for me, there's just the variables of the climbing.
Yeah, you got the altitude.
On your feet. I mean, the winter's out there longer than the winter at Western. So you're out there on your feet longer. You got the altitude. You got the weather, which can be gnarly.
Oh, yeah.
So I just think there's so many more variables. And it just kind of, when you see the interviews or talk to the winners of Hardrock, and I know it happens in multiple races, but it's just like, so many things came together for them. Right. Because it's just not a race you go out and say, this is my plan. Yeah. It just, you plan's out the window. Unless you're maybe Killian. Maybe he's got his plan that always works. I don't know, man. But I was watching like Darcy's interview with I Run Far, and she's just like, just going to enjoy it. Things happen for a reason, and I'm going to have fun. And
that's just a veteran talking.
Yeah,
right there,
her mentality behind it too. And then I think to me, Anna's going to be sneaky because when she was here, she wasn't training well. And she's had a rough go for a while. I
love her, but she's lost her mojo.
Yeah, and so she's been down there for a while, and it'll be interesting to see because when she was in the bus, she was talking about how Hardrock brought her back around originally. And so that's my hope is that when she got back down there to train
one more time, it brings her
just
around.
Kicked her that one more time before she goes off and does her thing with her boyfriend in Durango and starts her
married.
Life. Yeah. So, we want to hear your top 3.
Yep.
And then, again, if it's close or whatever, we'll do the drawing like we did last time.
We'll give you something.
But I'm excited to see how this pans out. Hardrock, I've never run it. I've been down there a few times. It's probably my favorite race just because you see all the pictures from it, and you're like, it's incredible. It's incredible. All that scenery is located so close together. Right? And then the vibe of the town and everything else. So it'll be a good weekend. Yeah. I'll be following along for sure. I Run Far does an amazing job.
Yeah, they do.
Especially at Hardrock.
There's some new runner tracking thing that's going on this weekend,
Is
too.
There?
Yeah. I think Jared Campbell was totally pumped about it. He was geeking out, got his spreadsheets out.
Nice. Well, if he's excited about it.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that's all about.
Yeah.
But I Run Far does just the best job in the business.
They kill it, man. Photos, give updates from time between wear. They talk to the runners. I know. So they give you that insight of, I talked to them and they were feeling this way. And,
exactly.
So it's like, okay, that's good. Yeah, it's good to know. I got to go back to Vegas and put my money on a different pony.
Yeah.
Good luck to everybody down there. That's pretty much. And if you're down there, man, make sure you keep your photos for.
Where your feet
take you.
Yeah.
Because next week,
something special
finally.
Yeah,
we'll get to it when we get to that section of the show. Right. But let's see. Next up, Joel, what do we got going on that's happening?
All right, so we got a new trail. We got actually 2 new trail races locally here in the Wasatch Front. So the first one is the Elephant Rock Trail Run, which happens August 12th. Yeah. They have 3 distances. They have a marathon. They have a 13-miler and a 7.8. Now, this happens at the Mueller Park area, which is down the Bountiful Bench region of Davis County. So that's like northern Salt Lake area. I've run there a couple of times. It's probably been 10 years since I've run there, though. Yeah. That's a really cool area to run. It's super runnable, a couple of steep climbs. So I'm just pumped. We have another race locally.
Do you know who does that one?
Oh, man, I recognize their names, but I can't remember offhand who's doing it.
All right.
But I like that we have that shorter option coming on board. Yep. So there's an introductory way of people to get into trail running. Excited to see that. I'm not going to run it this year because I'm trying to do Vaquero and then have a small break and then do a hard marathon the week after that.
Which one are you doing? Skyline?
I'm trying to get this trade worked out with Skyline.
Gotcha.
So I had this old duffel bag that I was trying to give away, and the race director of Skyline says, I want it. And I'll trade you. I'm like, all right, I'll take you up on that. So just trying to get that to happen. And then the other new trail race is out at Powder Mountain.
Oh, yeah. It's a weekly one.
So I think it's
Thursdays.
4 weeks.
Yep.
So I think the first one happens the last week.
26th of July.
Last week of July. It's on a Thursday. I think they start at 6:30.
Mm-hmm. It's 5K.
Yeah. It's not very...
$20.
Yeah. And then it goes, I think, every other Thursday for...
I'm not sure.
For 4 races.
Yeah.
Right? So I think you get like an 8-week span of racing, something like that.
Yeah. They have tacos at the finish.
Yeah, they're going to have some food up there. Looks like it's going to be a good time. I don't think I'm going to be able to make any of those because I work on Thursday evenings. So, but it's another opportunity to go out and check out some trails, right?
I might try and get up there for one. It's 5K distance.
Yeah.
evening might work. Drives a little much. It's a little interesting. But
I think
it's
they
cool
got that
up there.
going against them, to be honest. You know,
so
but
we'll
I want to see it work out for them because any chance to jump in the trail racing, we want to support that for sure.
Yep.
And then another thing that's going on this week, so if you listen to this podcast on Thursday and you live in the San Diego area, make sure you check out Elevation Culture's open house. Now, we've used them in the past. They've made medals for our race. Of course, you've probably seen their work before because most of their stuff is I think it's laser cut wood, right? So they put it into a computer, and the detail and the uniqueness is just beyond none, right? What they do.
Yep.
Anyway, so they're going to have a little open house this week, Thursday night, starting at 6:30. So if you're in the San Diego area, please go check them out. Good folks at Elevation Culture.
Yeah, tell Eric, hey, and check them out. They got a brewery close by.
There you go.
I mean, it's just set up. So make sure you support those guys and check them out if you're in the area.
They're good dudes for sure. I think there's some other stuff going on, but really, that was all my attention span could really handle
at this
right?
point.
It's kind of narrow right now. Been watching some of the Mako show. I really like him. He's getting back into it.
Yep.
He's going to race UTMB, so he's going to focus on that. The dude's hilarious. So go check out his stuff, themakoshow.com. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's starting to do like either Facebook Live or like YouTube Live stuff, which is kind of fun to participate in.
Check that out.
Yeah.
And of course, we got in a couple weeks, we got Outdoor Retailer the very last time here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Is in August.
They're out.
Or July. That's it.
They're out next year.
They're out to Denver.
Yeah.
Good luck with that in Denver, by the way. And I don't mean that I mean, that's going to be interesting. Just the on the mountain stuff and on the water stuff.
Yeah,
and
but I think
location.
as far as them having a successful outdoor retailer overall, it's going to be more successful. Than
I mean they've done SIA,
right.
So they know how to do it.
Yeah, they're going to crush it. But like you said, if they're going to really focus on the mountain stuff, maybe they don't anymore.
Yeah.
Or they're just going to locate it like at El Dorado or somewhere like that. Yeah,
I'm gonna go there twice a year to be an Uber driver. To and from the airport, baby.
Right, crushing.
I don't take money. I take trades. Who do you work for?
Yeah.
Right on. I'll take some skis.
You work for Patagonia? Right on. Hop in.
Yeah. So in a couple weeks here in Utah is our last outdoor retailer show.
Right.
Shameless plug here. We need to get Joel a badge.
Yeah.
Okay.
I keep forgetting about this.
So we need to get Joel a badge. This is our last one in Salt Lake City. Right. I'll be down there. But we need a badge
for somebody.
Yeah, working for a company I work for.
Yep.
But we need to get Joel a badge. So if you can help us out,
let us know.
We'd appreciate it because we want to get down there,
do some interviews,
check out some cool gear that we can talk about to everybody. So little plug there. We need a badge.
All right.
One badge, so we can hang out down there.
We'll trade you a hat.
We'll trade you something for sure.
Yeah.
High five.
I've got
picture.
What
of the
do
bus.
I got here? I got some Cola Me Happy from Goo. I'll trade you one of those.
I tried some cola gels from Goo, and they're not bad. They're not. It's a Goo gel.
Yeah.
It's I didn't try like the ones that I got. The ones you got. I didn't try
either.
Tutti Frutti. I didn't try Ginger Ale, and I didn't try
marshmallow
toasted marshmallow.
I didn't try any of those.
So I still have those.
I know.
I've been using that Mirror Energy, and I'm digging it though.
Yeah, I like that.
I
stuff.
really do like it. So I'm gonna test. I have one more pack left, and I might actually buy some so I could do a little bit more
thorough testing.
Yeah, before I talk about it as much.
Yeah,
because it is difficult to test nutrition products, in my opinion, because of how you use them, the weather, short, long run.
Well, I mean,
flavors.
okay, so on a normal training run, like say for example tomorrow, if we go out and we run 9 miles, I might be lucky to take water.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So it's hard when you're not taking on calories for your standard training run. And then like this weekend, if we go out and run long, maybe 2 gel packets. Yeah.
So that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
So we'll give some reviews on that Mirror Energy. But to me, so far, I really like it.
Yeah.
A lot, actually.
I did have a problem with the blackberry thyme. The thyme was a bit too strong.
Was it?
Yeah, because they use the thyme oil.
Okay.
Like the spice thyme.
Okay. I love blackberry.
I do too. They could have just stuck with that, but they threw the thyme in there to bring a savory element to it. It was gagging me because it was so strong.
That's good to know because I didn't try that one because they sent us some and we split them, so you didn't have flavors. I'm trying and vice versa.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
But the other ones, like the chocolate peppermint ones,
solid.
Oh, so good.
let's see, my favorite so far I've had, that red raspberry mate was money.
That sounds good.
And the other one I really like is the hazelnut chocolate, I believe.
It wasn't a banana hazelnut?
Banana hazelnut.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good.
That does sound good.
I could have just pounded that all day long.
Right. Yeah, they got promising things coming out. So far, we're really happy with their product.
Yep.
Almost ready to give it a full ringing endorsement.
Yep.
And that kind of brings us up to something important. We're not always going to endorse a product.
Correct.
Right? If somebody gives us a product, we won't always fully endorse it. We try to give them constructive feedback, and we want to see companies succeed in the run market, right?
For sure.
That's exactly what we're
Small
after.
companies.
Right.
Yep.
So if you give us a product and we don't give you a glowing review, you can't be upset.
Well, and we've also had companies that want us to review their product that we've declined.
Yeah.
And that it's not because it's just something we wouldn't use.
Exactly.
And we're not saying it's not a good product.
Right.
But we're not here to give false representation of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And we want to keep things authentic. And last thing I want to do is tell somebody this is awesome and they get in like, this sucks.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest thing.
Right.
It's just kind of our word on it. And can people have differences of opinion? Absolutely. Like if something works for me, like if Wendy Jaglowski I got that Patagonia Houdini and it sucked. I couldn't do this, blah, blah.
Right.
I get it. But for me, I would say, well, sorry, that's my favorite piece or whatever.
We've been around. I mean, I think between the two of us, we've got 26, 27 years of trail running experience between the two of us. We've been around. We know it works.
Yeah.
We know it doesn't work. I think there's a certain base level of what is going to work in the trail running world. And if you can't meet that certain threshold, then we're not going to recommend that product.
And that's just us.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not saying it's not a good product. It's not
saying
sometimes
those products that they're not good.
They're not there yet. Even.
Yeah. And they need refinement and they need to take that constructive criticism, right?
Yeah.
And not get hurt by it.
Well, and even I worked at Smith Optics for, like I said before, 13 years, and that was part of what we tested products. I tested ski goggle lenses. And sometimes you come back and it was the coolest technology on the planet, and I'd say, it fogged.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like, what? And I'm like,
and engineers just decide themselves.
But it's the truth.
Exactly.
Again, just you can't improve if you don't get the truth, right?
Well, exactly. You have to be receptive to that feedback.
And years ago, I was a part of different companies, and I won't mention any names, but there was one company that was getting false feedback. People just wanted the sponsorship from them.
Yeah, well, so that happens now.
So they're like, oh, that's awesome. I love it, but they never used it.
I think that happens more now because the sponsorship thing is still big, but the ambassadorship is bigger now.
Yeah.
So people want that free gear. I don't blame them.
Yeah. Stuff's expensive.
So they'll say anything to get that freebie, right? Yeah. And they won't give that correct sense of, okay, this product is heading in the right direction, but you need to do X, Y, and Z to make it better.
An example like the Mure Energy gel, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Too much time.
And the packet. It's hard to get the product out of the packet.
Yeah.
Those are my two big complaints right now.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that they're on their way to being a rock-solid player in the nutrition market.
Well, and there's so many companies and so many different, gels.
Yeah.
How many companies? There's a bazillion.
There's a lot right now.
There is. And it's just, at the end of the day, with something like that, it's almost like what works for you. Right?
Yeah, but those small things like the packet being too small to get the stuff out, when I'm racing, I don't want to sit there at an aid station for 2 minutes trying to toothpaste roll that stuff out of there because it's too thick.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean? I'm just saying a goo. I can't take a hammer gel. Hammer gel doesn't work in my stomach. It comes out of their tube nice. It just doesn't work for me. And I've taught V Fuel is probably right now my go-to.
Is it? Yeah, I just don't like that stuff.
It's just my go-to.
Yeah.
It's not thick.
Nope.
There's a couple flavors I stick to.
Right.
And it just works for me. And I've talked to people. It's I don't like that stuff.
I think I had one once and it just made me gag. And now anytime I think about V Fuel, I just want to throw up a little bit.
See, and that's some goo. This cola one I'm pointing at right now on the table. It's good. It has cola, has a different flavor, and it worked for me. And there's another one, power gels I used to take all the time.
Dude,
and I honestly don't know why I've gone. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, I've never had a bad product. I just don't take them anymore.
I love those things, man.
So I got to get back.
They're hard to find.
They are harder to find for us.
Holy
here,
cow!
For sure. But they were.
I used to not like goo stuff.
Yeah.
But that Summit tea.
Oh, that's.
I can drink that all day long now.
Yeah, that
love that
stuff. And see, like I do. Scratch Labs Recovery.
Yeah, I had some of that.
It's my favorite. That the Ultragen, I could swap back and forth on those two all day long.
Love it.
But there's some other ones out there that I don't like the taste of it.
Yeah.
Would it work as recovery? Probably, but I can't get it in my belly.
Tastes like it's been overly processed sometimes. I hate that. But yeah, so that just we've said this before, and we just need to bring it up again. We're more than happy to give you feedback on your product, but we're going to be open and transparent.
With how it works.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's kick a couple more things and wrap it up. Strava week for the group. Yeah. Andy Noyes is still crushing it.
All right.
He did this last week. He did distance 102 miles. Woo. Run time 31 hours 8 minutes.
Wait a minute, I thought Turtle Miller was like, dude, I'm gonna win everything.
He wasn't even close.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was thinking.
He was having too many of those fruity tooty beers.
Oh yeah, he was.
Right.
Yeah, Tecate Lights.
And
then climbing was John Paul Ogden again at 24,000.
Nice.
So that was awesome. Next up, we've got Where Your Feet Take You.
Mm-hmm.
This was my favorite week combined.
It's a good one.
I think we had more photos, and I think they were just off. I mean,
the quality was higher.
The quality was ridiculous.
Right.
We went through and named a few. This is our last week of doing it this way. Next week, for real, this time. New format, and it's going to be legit, right?
We have a contest.
We have a contest every week. And you're going to win something.
I know.
Right? So every week, the winner actually gets something mailed to them, and all they have to do is post a photo, and maybe they win.
Uh-huh.
So unfortunately, this is the last week that you win, but you don't win anything.
No.
So
our internal gratitude is what you win this week.
Yeah, and we use your photo.
Yeah,
so everybody can see how good a photo you take or been in. But starting next week, so be ready.
Yeah.
You're going to win something.
Have it ready this weekend. Get out there, have some fun, be safe.
Who's going to be the first winner of a prize?
That's
and
right.
We're going to do this for a year.
Uh-huh.
1 year. Every week.
There's no criteria, so don't get butthurt if we don't draw your name.
Yeah. But this week, who'd we give the winning photo to?
We never decided, did we?
Didn't? I thought we
had a couple. Well, so
we had 3 that we really liked.
I wrote down 4. So Hayden Hawks was in the Wasatch giving a little training.
Dude,
good to see him back running.
Unreal.
Amy Butler out of Plainfield, Vermont. She was up there on the green wall. That looked so cool. Our boy Grant Nicholas up in Jackson running up on Snow King.
That was pretty.
Great sunset. And then Devin Stoker up on the Beaverhead.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was way cool.
Yeah. So those are the 4 that we really kind of pulled aside and said, hey, these are awesome. And I think we decided on Hayden Hawks.
Yeah, that was just pretty, man.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Hayden took that picture.
He's in it, so.
Or who that. So we got let's have a backup because we might not be able to use that.
He posted it, yeah. Who's your backup then?
Let's give it to Grant.
Okay.
Because he's a good guy. He gave us an entry to
El Vaquero
Loco.
That Cooper Robbins won and has claimed.
That's so rad.
To do that, so that's up. But yeah, there was a lot of good ones this week.
Leslie Howlett was in the running too. She took a picture of this really rad scree field.
Ryan Delaney with Mount Hood was awesome too, though.
That was in the money too.
That was, get Mount Hood with that much blue around it.
Yeah, that much snow, man.
Doug Jensen, Little Cottonwood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at that one right. Mark Robbins in the Wasatch. That was awesome. With that yellow field of flowers with the mountains behind them.
Right.
That's why I said this week for me was the hardest.
Yeah, the quality was on point.
Yeah, see, I was in 2 of them. That was kind of funny. Jim Skagg posted the one of us at start, and Brandon Musgrove, we were hanging out at the pool.
Out at the pool. Yeah. That wire was cold at first,
That was nice. That was nice for the day after. But there was just some good ones, man. There's just some that make me super jealous. Karen Hogan, Hidden Peak. Some of these just make me jealous.
Yeah.
Like Nate Reese on the Beaverhead 55K course with the snow and gosh, what I got there. But there's some good ones. So, yeah, we'll give it to Hayden as 1.
Yep.
Tentatively, and number 2 is Grant.
There we go.
And so next week, folks, you can win an actual item.
I know.
That you will wear.
You better wear it.
And it's a one-off.
Yeah, it is. You won't be able to buy this.
You won't. Yeah, it's not for sale.
I know.
We're giving 1 away for a week for a year.
I know.
Is that crazy?
I know.
1 away for 1 week for 1 year.
No, we got a sponsor for this too.
I know. Isn't that cool? So yeah, we're super excited.
Good stuff.
To do that. So be prepared next week. Want to see them. If you've got one, make it your money shot, man.
That's right.
That's going to be the first one. Mm-hmm. You know what? Since next week's our first one, we're going to give you what we're going to give away every week, and I'm going to throw something special in just because it's the first one ever of this
gonna be a cat.
Winning contest.
You're going to get a cat.
You're getting a cat. Yep. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I've got. Is a long Singletrack session this week. Hoodies are being printed as we speak. Those will ship on Monday.
Hopefully
Monday.
A little late. Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, sorry about that. The problem was supplier of the actual hoodie didn't have all the sizes in.
Right, so we had to wait for
we had to wait for the sizes. So it has nothing to do with our printer. So I apologize, but we'll get those right out. There's a lot of local people. You get them quick.
Yeah.
If you're not local, we'll make sure you get them in a day or two or a couple days. We'll get them out right away.
You'll have them. So that way when you come up to Vaquero, you can have them.
You'll rock
be all
them
toasty warm.
Because you probably need them.
I hope so.
And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Just, again, don't forget to head on the website, get your swagging right. It's out of cool gear there still. Help support the show.
I know. We need to get rid of some of these hats.
We haven't sold some stuff for a while.
Let's get rid of these hats, folks. Come on, buy them. Because I got a cool idea for a hat.
Yeah, we want to get them. It can be done, too.
It can?
Yeah, I checked.
Oh, yeah. Sweetness.
So, yeah, go on. Get some gifts for your friends, your running people. Tell them thanks. Your crew, your pacers. This will be a little gift for helping you out, having them help you out.
Get a buff for your dog.
Yeah, they love them, especially in this weather. So, yeah, I think that's a good week. Don't forget about the Hardrock contest. Should be a good one. And then don't forget to tune in next week for the show with Jacob Pusey in Calgary. He's from Calgary, Alberta. Got a lot of cool stuff. And if you don't know him, you will after next week because we really got after it. So I think that's it for this week. This is Eric and Joel, Singletrack Session number 45 from 22nd Street Tailhead. We are out.